when you enter customer receipt, you can see that default bank account is Sampath Rupee and default payment method is check. So we have set default payment method as check, and default bank account is this bank account. Therefore, when you are enter any bank transaction, this bank account will display as a default bank account. And also after you enter transactions, you can view that opening balances, total of customer receipts, supplier payments, account receipt, account payments, transfer out, transfer ins, tax payments, and balance. Okay, and if you click this detail button, you can view details. Right. Like that, you can create your bank account. And when you are create bank account, I'll repeat it again. Go to banking, add a bank or credit card. Enter your bank account name. Now in here, if you enter any bank account name, sometimes same bank, two bank accounts will available. Now for an example, you have two Sampath bank account. In that case, you can enter Sampath bank 001 or Sampath bank account number to enter this bank account name. Right, then second bank account you can enter Sampath bank 2 or Sampath bank and that bank account number. Like that, you can enter that bank account name. And also here also you can create petty cash account. Also you can create, when you are creating bank account, bank name and the bank account name and bank name compulsory, so you need to enter that details. So if you are creating any petty cash accounts, you can enter petty cash as bank account name, and you can enter bank name also for petty cash. And also now sometimes in practical situation, sometimes you may or your company may accept PD checks, post-dated checks. In that case also, you can create PD checks accounts for deposit your PD checks. Okay, then after you create PD checks account, you can monitor your PD check details. Okay, so you can create bank accounts from here. Now you can practice how to create bank accounts. Okay, go to banking, list of banks and credit card. Click add a bank or credit card, or you can go to banking and add the bank or credit card. Okay, after you create your bank accounts, you can view that bank account list. From here, you can view bank account number, bank name, account number, branch name, branch code, balance, active, default, and actions. And also you can customize this grid by clicking this customize grid button. You can add required columns, and if you want to remove any column, you can untick that column. And also you can sort by clicking these headings. You can sort ascending or descending order. And also if you have created any foreign currency account, you can view that balance in that bank account currency. And from here you can type any bank account name and you can search, and from here you can sort by multi-column. And also you can create that bank and credit card categories from here by clicking add category. You can add categories. Okay, now please create some bank account categories and link to your bank account. Right, next we will move to this quick entry rules. Now from this quick entry rules, you can set pay name, and when you enter bank transactions, other details will fill by the system. Now for an example, if you enter UOR, the details will fill from the system. Okay, add this account, selecting advertising, no tax, like that. You can set rows from here, and when you are selecting or when you enter that transaction in bank transaction, system will automatically fill that. Now for an example, now you may have uh, hundreds of transaction in your bank statement, and every time you cannot enter. Now when you enter transaction, it will take long time, so you can set a pay name, and you can set system to fill other details. Now for an example, for bank charges, when you enter BC, system will change that description, and bank account, the GL account will select from the system. Okay, we will discuss in detail when we are entering, when we discuss banks module. Okay. Next, we will move to accounts module. From here, you can create your GL accounts. Okay. Now, when in your system also, there may be default GL account you can view, and if you want to add any GL account, you can add from this by clicking add an account. Now you may have default accounts, and this default account includes asset, liabilities, and system accounts also. You can delete this blue color accounts, but you cannot delete this system accounts. Okay, and also if you want, you can rename this in your default account, or you can delete all default accounts and you can re-enter your GL accounts. Right. You can create GL accounts from this accounts module. Go to accounts, click add an account. You can enter your GL account name, and from this category you can select that GL account category. From here you can select sales, cost of sales, other income, expenses, income tax, non-current asset, current liabilities, non-current liabilities, and owner's equity. Like that, you can select account category. And if you have any opening balance, you can enter opening balance amount and opening balance date. And also if tax available, you can select the tax account or tax rate from here. Right, now you can create your GL accounts. Go to accounts, click add an account, and you can create your GL accounts. right? In addition to GL accounts, you can create item accounts from this item accounts. Now, I think when you are creating your items, you can add sales accounts and cost of sales accounts. These item accounts you can create from here. Okay, go to accounts list, item accounts. By clicking add an account, you can add item accounts, and from report group type you can select sales or purchases. And if you are creating sales account, you can select sales. And if you want to create any cost of sales or purchase accounts, you can select purchases. And you can enter name and you can save. And also if you create different sales account when you are generating your profit and loss report, you can mention that different sales account. Now when you are generating your profit and loss report, now here you can see that accommodation income, classes income, computer sale, like that there are different sales account. So you can create that different sales account from this GL accounts module, and you can link that accounts to your items. So when you are selling those items, these accounts will update. Now for an example, you are assume you have a company, export company. You will export tea, rubber and coconut. Okay, then you need to create those items, tea item, coconut item and rubber item. So you want to mention that tea sales separately, rubber income separately, and coconut income separately. So in that case, you can create three uh, sales accounts, item accounts for those accounts. Okay, we will create that one. First, go to items. Tea, coconut. We'll create another account for rubber. Now we have three products, tea, coconut and rubber. And we can create three item accounts. Tea income, rubber income, coconut income. Now we can link these accounts to our item accounts. Sales account, we can select coconut income. And rubber account, we can select rubber income. For T item, we will select T income and save. Right now, we'll enter some purchases. When you enter transactions first time, these steps will display from the system. By clicking next, you can continue, or you can, if you don't want, you can close that. We'll enter purchases. We'll discuss how to enter transactions when you're discussing each module. Right now, we will enter these quantities and purchase price, and you can save. Right now, we will enter customer invoice. Go to transactions, customer tax invoice. Click add a tax invoice. Select customer. Now from here, you can select items. We haven't set a price for this one, therefore that message will display. Right. Now we have entered quantities and prices and save. Next, we will go to profit and loss report and check. Go to reports, financial statements, profit and loss. Select period and select this cost of sales based on sales option and view report. Right now you can see, you can view coconut income separately, rubber income separately, tea income separately. And we haven't created no cost of sales account for different accounts, different items. Therefore, it will display as a total. And if you want to view that cost of sales also separately, you can create a purchasers account and you can link those accounts to that items. Okay. Now, main purpose of this creating item accounts is we can create item accounts and we can link. And if you want to view that different product type or product wise income separately, you can create item accounts. Okay. If you want to display that income separately, or you are trading items income separately, you can create item accounts and you can link to that item. Then when you are selling those items, those income will display separately. Okay, like that you can view your item wise sales separately. Now for an example, if you are in consultant services and you are providing consultancy, accounting, you will provide bookkeeping, then tax services you will provide. So then you want to view bookkeeping, assume you have items, accountants, accounting services, tax consultancy services, and audit services. So if you want to view that those income sources separately, accounts income, accounting services income separately, tax services income separately and audit services income separately, you can create item sales accounts and you can create items and link. Then when you enter invoices for those items, you can view that income separate. Right. You can create GL accounts and item accounts like that. Right. You can create few GL accounts and item accounts, and you can link to your items. Okay. Next, we will move to this fixed asset module, or you can create fixed asset from here and go to company and go to asset. By selecting this add an asset, you can create your fixed asset, and from here you can maintain your fixed asset register. Okay, you can enter that item description, categories you can create, fixed asset, motor vehicle, furniture and fittings, buildings, like that. You can create that asset categories. And if you have different locations or departments, you can create from this location. And you can enter date of purchase and serial number of that items available, brought from, supply name, purchase price, current value, and replacement value. And if you want to add any additional details, you can use this user defined field details. Now, for an example, if you are enter motor vehicle here you can enter that insurance expiry date, revenue license expiry dates. You can enter under date values, and you can customize this date or user defined fields from company. Change company settings, user defined fields. You can select assets. You can select user defined fields, and you can select assets, and you can change these names. Okay, these labels name. Now here I have changed insurance expiry date. You can change it from here. If you want, you can add data values from here. Now if you want to add insurance expiry date to mention in that screen, you can change it from here. And if you want to add revenue license expiry date, you can type here and save. Then this name will display in this user defines fields. Okay, in addition to that, under notes you can add any notes here. Now for an example, if you want to add insurance or revenue license expiry date or vehicle emission test dates, then if you want to add vehicle service dates, like that, these dates you can add from here. Okay, and also if you have building, you want to insure that building, and you can enter that building insurance expiry date as notes, and you can check those notes from here. Like that, you can create fixed asset. Now you can create a few fixed assets. Okay, go to company, assets, add an assets. Okay, next we'll create that asset categories. You can create asset categories from this you can select asset category and click add category. From here you can enter your asset categories. Now you can create motor vehicle, or you can create furniture and fittings. Like that, you can create asset categories and you can link that categories to your assets. Next, you can create asset locations. Now, if you have different branches, you can add locations. Or if you have departments, you can add locations, accounts department, marketing department, sales department, like that. You can create departments. Or if you have cost centers, you can create cost centers. Like that, you can create that locations and you can link those locations to your items. And you can select categories, and now you can create these asset categories and locations and link to your items. Okay, after you create your items, you can view list of items. From here, you can view your items and you can customize from here by clicking customize grid. You can add required columns, and if you want to remove any column, you can untick that column name. Right. You can create fixed asset like that, and you can maintain your fixed asset register. But one important thing, from here, depreciation not calculated from the system. You need to enter journal entry for that depreciation. Okay, you can maintain your list of assets, but that system will not automatically calculate the depreciation. Okay, next we will move to budgets. You can create budgets from the system, and you can generate your profit and loss report with budget values and budget variances. Now from here, After you create budgets, you can view actual value, budget value, and variance. Okay, and you can create budgets from company budgets. Click add the budget. Now here, first you need to enter your budget name. And you can select this budget for which period, this year or next year. Next, there are two options: create budget based on your historical data. Second option, create your budget manually. Now, if you select first option, and system will create budget automatically based on your historical data. Now, if you using for a few years, the system will get that values from previous year income and expenses and create for budget for this year. And if you want to manually create budget, you can select second option, create your budget manually, and you can click create budget and you can enter your budget values. You can view GL accounts and you can view periods. Okay, you can enter values here. Then system will calculate the totals. Right, like that, you can enter your budget values. Each month values you can enter. And system will calculate income, cost of sales, gross profit, and you can enter expenses, and you can view net profit. Okay, like that you can enter your budget values. There are two options. You can see some two buttons available, blue color and this like green color button. From these values you can copy your budget values. Now if you want to copy this, now here sales value is 100,000. If you want to add this 100,000 for all months from April to March, by clicking this button, you can copy that values. Okay, now without entering transaction, you can copy that value. And also when you are copying, also there are two options. First one, copy this value across each month going forward. If you select first option, system will copy that value each month. And if you select second option, copy this value across to each month going forward, adjusting the values at the same time. And if you want to increase or decrease, you can increase or decrease. Now first we will check how to increase. You can select increase here, and you can select the frequency. Now if you want to increase your sales value in every quarter by 10%, you can select quarter here and you can enter the percentage and copy. Now you can see April to June it's 100,000, from July to September it's 110,000, and October to December it's 121,000. Like that, by 10% it has quarterly, it is increasing. And if you want to increase monthly, you can select every month and you can enter 10% here. Then you can see every month it is increasing. And if you want to decrease, you can select decrease from here every quarter by 5%. You can see every quarter that amount is decreasing. Like that, you can copy by clicking this button. And also you can see there's another button, this blue color button. If you click this button, you can copy for all account. Now previous button is only for one account. If you want to copy for all accounts, you can use this blue color button. Now here also it has copied. And here also you can copy with increasing or decreasing your values. Now it is increasing. And if you want to decrease, you can decrease also. Every 6 months. Now you need to enter percentage also. Now you can see that it has increased by 5% every 6 months. After you enter these details, you can save your budget. Right. You can create budgets from company budgets. Click add a budget. You need to enter budget name and you can select budget for this year or not next year. And after that, there are two options. Create your budget based on historical data and create your budget manually. So if you select first option, create manually, based on historical data. In this database, we have data. Now create your budget based on historical data. Click next. You can use the same value. Right, based on previous year data, system has calculated this budget for this year. Right, if you have previous data, you can use the first option, or you can enter your budget manually. And also after you enter budget name, you can copy that value, same value, or you can increase or decrease value by a percentage. Right, now you can create your budget. Okay, you can create your budgets from company and budgets. And after you create your budgets, when you are generating your profit and loss report, you can compare actual values with budgeted values. Right. Next, we will move to analysis codes. Now, you may have in your company has branches, departments, projects, jobs, or cost centers. So if you want to view your profit and loss report for each analysis code or department wise, branch wise, project wise, you can use this analysis code. Now, after you create analysis code, you can generate your profit and loss report. You can select your analysis code from here. Now I select department. You can view or you can generate your profit and loss report for each department. Okay, department wise, you can view that profit and loss report. If you have allocated to any department, it will display under that department. If you haven't allocated, it will display under uncategorized, and also you can view the total. Okay, that if you have different projects or area wise, you can view your profit and loss report. Right, you can create your analysis code from here, company analysis code, and you have 3 analysis codes categories, and you can create any number of analysis categories for each analysis code. Now here, if you want to add branch, or you can, if you want to rename your analysis code 1 as branch, you can move the cursor to analysis code 1 description, and you can type that name, and you can enter your branches. Then if you want to change your analysis code to departments, you can type that, and you can type your departments. And if you have different projects and you want to maintain analysis code as project based, you can type that project, and you can enter projects. And like that, you can save your analysis code. And there's a tick box in use. If you tick this option, that analysis code will activate. After you create analysis code, you can link those analysis code to your every transaction. Now, if you enter customer tax invoices, you can link that analysis code to your tax invoice. You can scroll to right side, and then you can view your analysis code. When you enter invoices, receipts, then payments for every transactions, you can link these analysis codes. Okay, for journal entries for every transaction, you can link that analysis code. And also, if you cannot view this analysis code by clicking this customize grid button, you can tick that analysis code, then it will display. After you create analysis code, you can filter by that analysis code also. Your transaction reports, you can filter by analysis code. Here you can filter by your analysis codes. Right, now you can create your analysis codes. Okay, you can create your analysis code. After that, we can take a short break. We will start by 4:40. Okay, now we have completed system implementation or company settings and master file creation. Now next we can move to transactions. First we will move to supplier module. Go to suppliers, and from here we can create supplier purchase orders, supplier invoices, supplier returns, supplier payments, allocate payments, supplier adjustments, and tax adjustments. Right. I'll quickly go through how to create suppliers. You can go to suppliers and click add a supplier. You can enter supplier name and other details, and you can save your suppliers. After you create suppliers, you can view your list of suppliers. And you can enter supplier transactions for these suppliers. Okay, first we will move to supplier purchase orders. Now, in your company, if you want to purchase any item or goods, you can send a purchase order to your supplier. After your supplier received your purchase orders, they will send goods to you. And also, this purchase order is just a document. There's no any journal or accounting entries for that transaction. Okay, even though you enter purchase order, there's no any GL account transactions, right? You can enter supplier purchase orders from suppliers, transactions, supplier purchase orders, and click add purchase order. You can select your supplier. From here, you can select your supplier. And you can select your items. Okay, now you can enter supplier purchase order. You can select your supplier, and these document numbers will generate from the system. I think you can remember company settings. You can set your numbers. Document and statements, document numbers. From here, you can set your numbers. Okay, now purchase order, you can set. Then you can select date. After you select your supplier, system will display supplier balance and credit limit and the contact details. From here, you can enter your items. If you want to purchase any item, you can select from here and you can enter required quantity and amount. Now, when you are select your items, you can view item code, item description, reserved quantity, quantity on hand, and you can enter required quantity. And you can email or print or save this purchase order. Right now, you can enter few purchase orders. Okay, like that, you can enter your purchase orders. And also, there's a few options. If you want to view from inclusive amounts, you can tick this option. Then system will display inclusive prices. If you untick this option, system will display exclusive prices. And also, there's option the message, document message. You can set that document messages from this company settings, and document descriptions, customer document messages it will display. And also when you are creating, now you can see there are some default discount available. When you are creating, you can set your customer discount, default discount percentage, and credit period. Now here date is 1st of September, delivery date is 1st of October, because we have set 30 days credit period for this customer, and we have set default discount for this supplier. Now we will go to this supplier list and we will select that supplier. We have entered credit limit, credit now current balance available. From here you can set your default discount and default tax type, due date for payment. When you enter transactions, these details will pick from the system. Now we'll enter transaction, purchase order. You can see that 30 days credit period is calculating from here, and default discount will display here, and tax rates available, and credit limit display here. Right now, if you want to change this default discount, you can change when you are processing the transaction. And also, if you want to give discount for item wise, now for an example, for first item you want to give 10% discount, second item you want to give 5% discount. In that case, you can use this line discount percentage. If you give enter discount percentage here, it will apply for all items. Now if you are showing different discount for different items, you can use this line discount percentage, or else you can enter that discount amount also you can enter here, and system will calculate this totals. And also here you can select your analysis code, and if you want to add more lines, you can add your lines. Right. You can email, print, or save this supply purchase order. After you create your supply orders, you can view the supply purchase order list from this purchase orders grid. You can view supplier name, document number, order date, delivery date, and values. And you can customize this grid from here. You can tick required columns, and if you want to untick any column, or if you want to remove any column, you can untick that column. And also you can search any purchase order by supplier name or transaction number, and you can filter transactions from here. Today, dated today transactions, pending purchase orders, cancelled purchase orders, like that you can sort. Right. After you enter transactions, there are some options. You can view purchase order history. Which user enter this purchase order? If any user has edited, you can view those details. Then user defined fields. If you want to add any details, you can add from here. Next, document attachment. If you want to attach any documents, you can attach. You can attach up to 2 MB and 5 attachments. And document notes. If you want to add in documents note, you can add document note. If you want to follow up this purchase order, you can add the action date and note. Then system will pop up a message for follow up. Then there are 4 status or 3 status: confirm, cancelled, invoice. From here, you can view that status. Okay, now after you send your purchase order and supplier has sent goods to you, you can convert that purchase order to invoice, supplier invoice. Then that status will change to invoice. And if you have sent any purchase order and still we haven't reached that delivery date, status is pending. And if you have sent any purchase order and we have reached that delivery date, status will change to overdue. And if your supplier has canceled the order, that status will change to cancel. Okay, now you can check these options and you can enter few purchase orders. Right now, I have changed this purchase order. Therefore, this history will display as edited. And also, if you add any attachments or notes, you can see these colors will change. If you have attached any documents, this color also will change. And after you send your purchase orders and supplier will send goods to you, then you can convert these purchase orders to supplier invoices. Okay, from this grid you can view how many purchases you have entered, and you can see some inactivated buttons available here. If you tick any purchase order here, those buttons will activate. If you want to print more than one purchase order, you can print by selecting those purchase orders. You can print, delete, or you can change the status. Next, from actions also, you can preview this purchase order, print, email, edit, delete these purchase orders, or you can update status, create invoice, create supplier invoice. And if you want to copy this purchase order, you can copy, or you can view history of this purchase order. Right. Next, we will move to supplier invoices. Now, sometimes in your company, will send purchase orders when you are purchasing items, or without sending purchase order also you will purchase items. So if you are not sending any purchase orders, you can directly enter supplier invoice, go to suppliers, transactions, supplier invoices, and click at supplier invoice. From here you can enter your supplier invoice, and also when you are entering supplier invoice, if you are purchasing items, your inventory will debit and your trade payables will credit. Okay, journal entries are when you enter supplier invoice, or if you purchase goods, that your inventory will debit and your trade payables will credit. Okay, from here you can select your supplier. After you select your supplier, that supplier balance, credit limit, and address will display here. You can enter supplier invoice number here. Now, this document number is system generated number, but when your supplier send invoice, there will be an invoice number. So you can enter that invoice number, and you can select the date. And from here, you can select items. You can enter quantity, price, and you can select your analysis code, department, job, or area, and you can save this supplier invoice. And also now, when you are, if you have entered any credit limit for this supplier, if you are exceeding that credit limit, system will pop up a message. Do you want to continue? Your credit limit will be exceeded. Would you like to continue? If you want to continue, you can select yes, and you can continue. And also, when you are setting your company settings, Now here, here there's a option warn when duplicate supply invoice number used on supply invoices. If you tick this option, if you enter any same number again, system will pop up a message. So if you have ticked this, if you are entering same supply invoice number for same supplier, system will pop up a message. Then you can check your invoice number and you can enter the correct invoice number. Right now, I haven't changed the number again. I'll change it again. System says the supply invoice number entered in this document has already been used. We'll check that. We'll go to supply invoices list. We'll search from here. And you can see that supplier. Previously also, we have entered same supply invoice number. You can see that last one. And same supplier we have entered here. So therefore, system will pop up a message. Now I have changed the number and save. And if you want to assign any analysis code from here, you can select the analysis code. Right, now you can enter supplier invoice. Okay, furthermore, sometimes you may import goods from any overseas country, or when you are purchasing, you need to add additional expenses. Okay, now for an example, if you are purchasing from any goods, sometimes you may need to add transportation cost or insurance cost for that item. In that case, you can use this add additional cost and you can add that additional cost to that item. Now we'll enter new one. enter supply invoice number. And from here we can select item. And from additional cost we can add. Now, for an example, if you are paying transport, you can add transport. And if you want to add insurance, like this, you can add additional expenses. And if you add additional cost, it will add to this item. Okay, now this item so amount is 16,000, and in addition to that item cost of sales, this transport cost and insurance will add to this item. Okay, now you can see this, we have purchased this item. Its average cost is 13,964. Last cost is 19,000, because that item cost is 16,000. We have had 1,000 transport and 2,000 insurance. Therefore, that item class cost will be 19,000. So like that, if you have additional cost and you want to add to your inventory item, you can use this additional cost option. Right. Next, sometimes you may purchase from foreign suppliers. In that case, you can select your supplier, foreign supplier, and after you select that foreign supplier, all prices will display in supplier's currency. Now here balance will display in supplier's currency. It's AED, credit limit, and if you enter any item, it will display in supplier's currency. And here you can view that exchange rates, and if you want, you can change the exchange rate. And also when you are purchasing these items, if you want to add any comment to this item, you can add by clicking this file mark. You can add notes like the serial number. Those details you can add from here. Right. Now you can practice that foreign supply invoice and additional cost add into your inventory item. Okay, please enter another supply invoice for that additional cost, and you can check or select foreign supply, and you can check this exchange rate and foreign currencies. Okay, after you enter purchase orders, there are a few options. You can view invoice history, who edited or created the users, dates, action. If any user edited this supply invoice, you can check it from here. Next, show user defined fields. You can click this user defined fields, and if you want to add additional details, you can enter under user defined fields. You can enter the supply name details here, and in addition to that, if you want to add any additional details, you can use this user defined fields and you can add that additional details. Next, document attachment. If you want to attach any documents, you can attach from here by clicking add attachment. And if you want to add any document notes, you can add document note. Next, anticipated payment date. Now, if you are purchasing credit basis, you can add anticipated payment date. Now, say in next week we are going to pay, you can add that anticipated payment date, and you can get an alert when that anticipated payment date reaches. Next, create supplier return. After you purchase, if you want to return this good, you can enter supplier return. And if you want to re-invoice, you can use this. And if you want to create payment for this supply invoice, you can click this create payment and you can create a payment. Next, if you want to copy this same purchase order, you can select this copy. Then system will create a new supplier invoice. Okay, like that, you can enter supplier invoices. In addition to that, if you are if you have sent any purchase orders, you can convert that purchase order to supplier invoice. Now you have sent a purchase order. By clicking these actions and create invoice, you can convert that supplier purchase order to supplier invoice. Now, if you convert like that, you don't want to enter any details or any supplier name or items, system will automatically fill this detail. Okay, you can convert by selecting that supplier purchase order, and you can convert that purchase order to supplier invoices. In that case, you don't want to enter this you don't want to select suppliers or items. You want to enter only this supplier invoice number, and you can save this supplier invoice. Furthermore, if you have already sent supplier purchase order, then you can select that supplier purchase order from here. This from purchase order, you can select purchase order. Then you don't want to enter select items again, and you can process this supplier invoice. If you have any purchase orders, we'll enter again. If you have any pending purchase orders, you can select from here. Like that, you can enter supplier invoices. Okay. Based on your company procedures, you can enter supplier purchase order. Then after that, you can enter supplier invoice. Or if you are not send purchase orders, you can directly enter your supplier invoice. Next, we will move to supplier returns. Now, after you purchase goods, sometimes items may be damaged or expired. In that case, you need to enter supplier return and send goods back to your suppliers. So if you are returning goods back to suppliers, you need to enter supplier return. You can enter supplier returns from suppliers transactions, supplier returns, and click add supplier return. From here, you can select supplier and you can select returning goods. You can enter quantity and price. You can process this supplier return. Furthermore, if you already enter supplier invoice here, you can select that supplier invoice from here and you can process the supplier return. Okay, if you have already entered supplier invoice in the system, you can call that supplier invoice and you can return your goods. So if you are now in this invoice, you have purchased 20 and 5 items. If you want to change these quantities, now from 20 you are returning only 2 and from 5 you are returning only 1. In that case, you can change these quantities and you can return your items. Okay, and also you can go to supply invoice and by clicking these actions, click actions and create supplier return. From this also you can enter supply return. If you select, if you go to invoice list and by clicking actions and create supply return, you don't want to enter that returning goods again. System will populate these details to the screen. Okay, then after that you need only to process this supply return. Like that, you can enter supply returns. Okay, now you can enter supply return. Okay, like that you can enter supplier returns. Okay, when you are returning goods back to your suppliers, you can enter supplier return. And when you are entering supplier returns, your supplier payable or trade payable will debit and your inventory will credit. Okay, your trade payables will debit, inventory will credit. Right, like that you can enter your supplier returns. And we will wrap up for today. So today we have done supplier purchase orders, supplier invoices, and supplier returns. Next session we will start from supplier payments. Okay, thank you very much. Stay safe.